to cultivate a love for all your children. No one is without redeeming value. Let the good in me connect with the good in others until all the world is transformed through the complete power of love. Soulmate, oh loving God, so many in your world live without true love. So many cannot find their soulmate. Have mercy on them, O source of all love, that every lonely and incomplete soul know the wholeness of being that comes when one finds one's true love. Living in love, God of mercy, God of love, it is sometimes difficult, so painfully difficult to sustain a harmonious home life, to maintain a marriage based on true friendship and love, that never a hint of argument, frustration, or suspicion cloud our relationship. Understand that my vulnerabilities, in fact, open me to growth. My limits draw me to new frontiers. My very failures teach me to succeed. Perceptions, body and soul, Holy One, grant me the wisdom to bring harmony to the alliance of my body and soul. Let them rise together in my devotion to you. My soul perceives your light. Let my body discern it too. My soul sounds your praise. Let my body sing it too. First prayer, oh dear God. I want to pray, but the distractions are never ending. Please help me overcome them. Help me be wholly focused for once. Help me pray only true, totally heartfelt words to you, dear God. Wise counsel, oh God. How can I make my way through the confusion and uncertainty that cloud so much of what I do? Guide me to wise teachers and mentors whose advice is pure and in tune with your will. Guide me to true friends whose counsel is caring and promotes my best interests. Guide me to clear, correct decisions, to conclusions that are sound and free of all doubt. Clarity and assurance, oh God, grant me clarity and assurance in whatever I do. Teach me to trust in wise teachers, to learn from their insightful words, to teach me to trust in true friends, to treasure their care and concern. Teach me to trust in myself, to judge my own course correctly, and so to live with conviction and hope.
One second you say to yourself, oh, I'm just going to stop at the store and just grab a few things. And then the next you're lugging 2 giant bags, walking up the steps to the subway, hoping your fingers don't fall off. Look at me. Look at my act. Delivering with Uber Eats. You need to work myself? No. And I don't want to. Think about your future. Think about your back. Just order with Uber Eats. You'll thank me later.
Seeing light in darkness, God of unfathomable goodness, the history of human agony haunts my soul. Ashes, blood, and cries pierce my heart. Diabolic schemes of oppressors plague my mind. Grant me an extra measure of strength, understanding, and faith to help me find you, to discover your light amidst the blinding dread through the revolting horror. Sorting through confusion, God of truth, help me sort through the dizzying confusion of my life. My mind swirls with all that I've seen and that I've read, all that's happened to me. Teach me to focus, to prioritize, to see with clarity, so that I can move on with my life. A humble spirit, dear God, guide me along the path of sincere humility. If I ever put on airs, stop me. Bless me with a humble spirit, with eyes that see only the good in people, with a mind always open to others' opinions, with a heart who's caring of their concerns. Teach me to humble myself even before the lowliest of your children, whose very brokenness brings them closer to you. Finding good. Oh, loving God, help me discover and uncover all that is good, all that is positive in the world. Camouflaged though they may be, let me find those elusive sparks of holy light. Let me perceive all the beauty and truth hidden within your creation. Finding good when I am confronted with baseness and evil, let all the bad fall away before me, that all the good and goodliness that lies hidden within everyone I meet shine forth and emerge as a grand reflection of beauty and light. Losing control, oh, how much good I've lost in losing control of my anger. Such a large portion of my life. So much growth I've let slip from my hands by allowing my burning thoughts to get the better of me. God, teach me to let go. Maintaining perspective, oh God, please help me comprehend that life in this world is fleeting, hardly more than a fantasy. This moment I am here, as are those around me. Where will I be? Where will they be? In an hour, in a day, in a year, in 10? In my mind an image of a world that awaits me, of the life eternal that will follow my stay in this place of momentary fascination and reverie. And thanks my God, it has taken me time, but I'm finally learning to trust you. When I called, you answered. When I cried, you sent relief. When I was in need, you came through. You are there for me in every instance. I need only look, think, and understand, and I can always find you. There you are, always ready to help. Thank you, God, for waiting for me. Will wanted to wait, one of his most powerful statements for benevolent unequivocally characterizes the facet of the human psyche which functions below the threshold of consciousness. The young man was bemoaning the difficulties he was encountering in his attempts to come closer to God, but I really want to be a good Jew, he insisted to Rabbi Nachman. What, said the Rabbi, do you really want? You want? And praise God, you've given me the physical, emotional, and spiritual will to overcome so many obstacles that have risen before me. How many times have I faced what I perceive to be impossible, hopeless situations, and withstood them, and discovered creative solutions through which to surmount and master them? You strengthened me again and again. I know that you will never fail me. In God's will, merciful God, I know how very much you care for me. You've made me in accordance with your will. Why then don't I always want to be that which you've made me? Why do I so often fall short of all that you want me to be? In God's will, God, I want to be so many things, to do so much, to achieve so endlessly. Can anyone be everything? Do everything, have everything. You alone understand the fragile balance of my soul. You invested in me the potential to make that balance a perfect creation. Now help me fashion myself into just such a creation, in accordance with your will. Overcoming negative traits, oh God, help me perfect every element of my humaneness. Help me overcome all my negative traits, all my evil motivations. Teach me to turn bad into good. Building good traits. Traits help me grow. Teach me to strive for a soul that is pure and flawless. Let my every characteristic be impervious to evil. Surely then I can hope that I, in my very humaneness, might merge with the holiness of your existence. Perfection of the soul. God, perfect soul, you created me destined for perfection. How far have I wandered from that destiny? How much of my purity have I squandered through careless, thoughtless, self-centered behavior wanting immorality and holiness? The soul's recovery. There must be a way I can regain decency and virtue. There must be a way I can recapture the purity and perfection of my soul. God, lead me there. Don't turn me away. Open your hands and welcome me back. The gift of free will, God of wonders, you've given me the most wonderful of all gifts, the gift of free will. May my will never deviate from your holy will. Guide me always so that all the choices I make are good ones, choices that are in harmony with your will as long as I live. A world of responsibility, architect of a world, author of her story, grant me the courage to participate in a world's design, to join in the unfolding of her story. I want to share in the responsibility of this world, to pray for her welfare, to care for her needs, to safeguard her treasures, to work for her rectification. Suffer anew, dear God, teach me to begin anew, to renew myself along with all the creation, just as you renew the entire world each day. Show me how I can break free of the constraints of my habits, the restraints of my insecurities, the shackles of my unwarranted fears. Fresh start, teach me, dear God, to make a fresh start, to break yesterday's patterns, to stop telling myself I can't where I can, I'm not when I am, I'm stuck when I am eminently free. The way home, center of all existence, help me find the way to that sacred sanctuary within myself, to the precious center of my existence. Help me discover my place in the world, that space where I truly belong, that space which belongs unconditionally to me. Dear God, I've wandered for so very long. Help me find my way home. Healing my life, dear God, what a mess I've made of my life, a hopeless mess. How will I ever right all that I've wronged, restore all that I've ruined, fix all that I've destroyed? Only you can help me, dear God. If you don't help me, what hope is there? Help me and heal my life. Reaching for wholeness, compassionate God, healer of my body, healer of my soul, heal me, strengthen my ailing body, soothe my aching heart, mend my shattered existence, make me whole. Rejuvenation, master of the world, you know the bitterness of my anguished heart, of my painful wounds, of my afflicted soul. It is more than I can bear, I beg you. Soften and sweeten the bitterness. Give me strength and courage, for my remedy too must certainly be bitter. My rejuvenation will not come easily. Healer of all, heal me. Measure of eternity, eternal God, grant me a measure of eternity. Lend me some permanence to this temporal life of mine. Grant health, happiness, and long life to my children and to their children, and as long as they live, some part of myself will survive, something of me will live on in this world. Give me life, dear God, and life to those who come after me. Children, loving God, what is more precious than our children? Is there any treasure that can be more beloved, more pure than those cherished souls we have brought into the world? Help me guide them well, dear God, and help them accept my guidance. Help them lead their life with faith, wisdom, and truth. Letting go, dear God, help me grow old with dignity and wisdom. As the twilight years cast their shadow upon me. Help my mind remain clear, at peace with the world and with itself. Let me learn to let go of my bonds and to witness the world. Of my need for honor and status, of my attraction to physical indulgences, of my envy of others, of my regrets over all that might have been. Ageless aging, teach me, God, to live out my days focused on all that is meaningful in life, and its unaccountable aches and pains multiply as memory and retention fade. Teach me to relate to my physical existence with an ever-expanding recognition of its transient nature. Teach me to relate to my soul with an ever-expanding awareness of her eternal nature and ageless worth. Approaching God, my soul thirsts for you, O God, When I speak with a callousness that causes pain, when I lose myself in my own ego, God, pull me back to reality. Help others understand that I too am in pain and let them be forgiving. Harmful words, oh God, help me avoid every abusive speech. Let no untrue word escape my lips. I pray that I never speak badly of others or speak empty words of flattery. Help me stay away from profanity. Teach me, dear God, when to keep silent and when to speak. And when I speak, oh God, you save me from using your wonderful gift of speech to humiliate or hurt anyone. Lies, ruler of the world, grant me truth. Spare me for the lies of others. Help me stop myself from lying to others. Save me from lying to myself and spare me from the lies of my own illusions. God, never let me live a lie, even for only a moment. Holy sounds, oh God, your creation resonates with holy sounds. Let me hear them all. Let them penetrate my heart and rouse my senses. The jangle of a charity box, the voice of a faithful teacher, even the intonation of my own sigh when I cry out to you. All these sounds are holy. Oh God, let my heart hear them and all be uplifted. And thanks God for my only support. You taught me to pray, to sigh, to cry, to awaken true, meaningful words from deep within, words that strengthen, words that ease my pain, my wounds, words that dispel darkness. Thank you, God, for opening my lips, for teaching me to sing to you through prayer. Praying for what you need, right now, it's what comes to praying for what you need, significant to ask God. Knows what's happened to your children, what's medically and physically. Has he not forgiven to you? Has God forgiven you some needs? Never had considered turning to God for something so trivial, which in any case I could have managed without. Not am I surprised that I've added. Tell me, is it beneath your dignity to pray for something so minor? No matter what you need, the best thing you can do is pray for it. And praise, dear God of compassion. Your mercies are with me always, every moment of my life. With each breath I take, only you can love me so completely, so unconditionally, so profoundly. If people care for me, it is only because you care for me. If any of my words find their way into the hearts of others, it is nothing more than a reflection of your all-encompassing presence in my life. Compassion, loving God, you are full of compassion. Teach me to be like you. Teach me to be kind and generous and loving, just as you are kind and generous and loving to me. Trust me as I give you true sensitivity, compassion to everything that you show me. Peace, God, help me learn to cherish peace, to pursue peace, to promote peace. Save me from the need to be always right, which leads only to tension and strife. Oneness, God, help me forge a oneness between myself and others, between myself and my spouse, between myself and my children. Help me forge a oneness of the many selves within me. Help me become one with you. Learning to wait, God of patience, teach me patience. Help me learn to wait for the good that is just around the corner, for the assistance that will soon be within my reach, for the relief that is just a moment away. Inner calm, patient God, teach me to be patient, unruffled by those who anger, tolerant of those who exasperate, accepting of those who disappoint. Help me remain serene in the face of derision, calm in the face of provocation, composed in the midst of a storm. And God, teach me to be patient with myself. Forgiving God, you alone know how urgently I need to learn to forgive. me douse all the anger that burns within me. Free me of resentment against those who have wronged me. Help me abandon all the animosity, all the hostility that clogs my heart. Help me turn my anger into love and my enmity into compassion. God, I never want to become angry. Protect me from my own passions. Don't let me lose myself to small-mindedness. Resentment of others guard me from turning my temper against anything or anyone, even and especially against myself. A peaceful disposition, teach me, O God, to seek only peace. Save me from every form of argument, controversy, and quarrel. Liberate me from every type of misunderstanding and strife. Where there is no peace, there can be no joy, there can be no love, there can be no true presence of mind. Dear God, let me be mine to share. Contentment, dear God, save me from wanting what is not mine. Protect me from my own jealousy, from desiring the money or the possessions, the position or the honor that belong to another. Let me trust in you enough to believe that what is meant to be mine will come to me. Let me trust in you enough to be satisfied with all that I have today. Self-esteem, dear God, let me feel close to you. Grant me satisfaction with my life. Let me rejoice in that closeness, and let me turn with that satisfaction into a sense of self-worth, not one based in arrogance or in feelings of self-importance, but humble self-esteem rooted in holiness. Arrogance, dear God, free me of false pride. Free me of the arrogance that accompanies an inflated self-image. Spare me from haughtiness, from the overloaded ego which stems from an empty self. Let me learn to feel good about myself. Let me never feel the need to belittle anyone in order to find value and worth, in order to feel valued and worthy. A haven of joy. Teach me the meaning of joy, dear God, strong, deep, genuine, and pure joy. Don't let me succumb to feelings of sadness, loneliness, and depression. Teach me to turn to you with my every problem, frustration, anxiety, and pain. Accept my broken heart, heal me, and shelter me in a haven of joy. Clapping and dancing, dear God, stir my heart with a spirit of joy. Imbue my arms and my legs with that spirit. For my arms are encumbered, and my legs have become heavy with my wrongdoings. Fill me, my God, with the cleansing spirit of holy joy. Enliven all my limbs. Help me raise my hands and clap. Help me lift my feet and dance, dance, dance. Overcoming loss, dear God, suddenly I'm alone, I'm in pain as I search for some source of comfort. The world so full, so bustling, seems so empty now. It's cold and it's frightening. In this hollow that is me, in this hollow that once brimmed with confidence and joy, God pulled me back to the world of the living, back to a life of action and human relationships. And thanks, loving, caring God, all that happens in fulfillment in my life come only from you. Knowing how absolute in my dependence on you, I find peace of mind. Your presence suffuses my life, caressing me with hope, joy, and love. I've tasted your love, I've known your compassion, experienced your patience, and I am filled with gratefulness. Thoughts. An entirely new world. It is impossible to describe how wonderful it was in those early years, Reb Nachman said to the Hasid. They were strolling through the outskirts of the village where the Reb had spent the first years of his marriage worshipping, serving God in relative anonymity. With each step I took in these fields, praying and calling out to God, I experienced yet another taste of paradise. On another occasion, Rabbi Nachman described what it was like returning home after a day spent crying his heart out to God in the fields of our forest. Coming back, everything appeared different to me. The world seemed entirely new. In praise of God, I only begin to realize how very much you've done for me. I must now internalize the understanding that everything that happens to me, everything is an expression of your everlasting love, of your concern for my ultimate good. God, as I recognize all your goodness, as your kindness fills my thoughts, I sing your praise. Light of awareness. God, let me comprehend all that I see with the light of awareness. Let me understand whatever touches my life in a deep and intimate way, in a way that embraces both the adult and the child within me. Develops in faith, my God, you and only you know how strongly I want to believe in you, to put all my faith in you alone. Help me make this desire a reality. Help me perceive your presence and draw strength from it every day of my life, through every trial I face. Let that recognition bolster my faith in you wherever I go, whatever I do. Accepting God's justice, God, help me see. I chase the mirror into mirrors, every thought a crooked hole. I call my questions like they were kingdoms. Talk to my echo, thought it was audit with universe on my pillow, spinning circles in my skull. Wrote my name across the cosmos, still silence, swallowed it whole. You cut through the slop of the mind. Wisdom, just a spiral, gold-plated cage around my doubt. Every answer led to absence, every secret just shut me out. Then you stepped into my nightmare, tore the curtain, broke the spell. Said your love before you questioned, child, you're more than your private hell. You cut through the slop of the mind, running through a painted sky. Jesus. You cut through the slump of the mind. questions like they were kingdoms. Talk to my echo, thought it was all. Little universe on my pillow, spinning circles in my skull. Wrote my name across the cosmos, still the silence swallowed it whole. You cut through the storm of the night, lighting through a painted sky. Jesus, your revealed what is real, pulling out all the lies inside. I am not the only one. You lead me to the one true light. Lowercase prophet, because I'm no prophet equal to Moses. He's saying he's not any. It sounds to me like with a triple denial of any relevant component of the Messiah. He's saying like that prophecy doesn't concern me. That's not what I'm about. That's what it sounds like. Of Deuteronomy 18, whatever it is, somewhere in the middle, is means a prophet like Moses. Question: who's asking John the Baptist? Jews. Probably to look at John. Okay, good. John the Baptist. Who's asking him what? Who's asking John the Baptist? Are you the Messiah of the Pharisees, Armand? Yeah, interrogators. A question. I thought you're Jewish detective. Moses was Joshua. Every time I was Jewish, who's that prophet? That was Joshua. No Jewish. I'm asking a question. Joshua? No Jewish told you. Okay, who's the prophet that Moses? There are no prophets that Moses and Joshua. That's fine. It's a prophecy. It's a prophecy. Question, if I may. Could the interpretation of the words you just read, being a voice in the wilderness, be the voice of humanity in a dark night? As the word returns, we get that dark night again, and you revisit the dark night, and then you're alone and you're social distance, and then you're that voice in the wilderness that needs someone to speak on your behalf. Sure, Congressman. Yeah. Well, I mean, isn't that what the Word of God is? It's a philosophy. It's philosophy. Whoa. The guy says he's not the Messiah, he's not Elijah, he's not the prophet, now he's suddenly God. Well, the Messiah takes time. Why didn't he just say that? He's God. Stop it, answer. He's God. I'm just saying, he transitions into the Messiah. One of the things that Christian texts do as like a strategy is they combine. No, I'm asking you as a scholar, is not the Messiah figure transforms from a regular human into a Messiah? You know better. Messiah is a human. Messiah is a human. Right now, Messiah is a human. There's no transformation. No, listen. What there is anointment. There's a change of status, but there's not a change in being. Good evening, people. Okay, I'm just saying a Messiah becomes someone with the Holy Spirit. This is super dumb. Can we go back to the thing before the Christian code? That's lame. No, I mean, is there no such thing as a Holy Spirit? There is, but the thing that makes the Messiah is not the receiving of the Holy Spirit. I think it's the receiving of the ointment upon his head by a daughter in the presence of a prophet and the entire Messiah. That makes the Messiah. The presence of it. The Holy Spirit with a prophet. Those are not necessary. Dude, listen, and would be insufficient evidence. That's not what happens. You worthy of chosen to speak. Dude, you're missing the point of why Messiah. The Messiah is communally agreed upon. Right? We agreed? That's great. When the Messiah arrives, we will have universal agreement, right? I mean, we could just do that now, right? Perhaps, right? But we wouldn't have used the universal agreement then, right? We could name it's an ag problem, Rabbi. Well, no, obviously. Right? Now, what I'm saying to you is that the Messiah for the Jews is an earthly ruler, a general, a king. Yeah. Right? A person.
Yeah.
They may have increased access to things like God or messages or
Totally. They do.
However, you have to understand that once Messiah arrives, the entire way that we thought that the world works up until now is totally different and turned on its head. It's the end of history. It's the creation of a new world order in which that we don't recognize, and only because of the change in the
Utopia 1.0.
Right, we will have to, right, only because of the change of sort of like God consciousness will we be able to understand that new reality.
Yeah.
So there's no such thing. It's just not part of the Jewish idea that the Messiah is anointed in the presence of angels or becomes God or becomes.
No, it's by a body of water with a prophet in the Sanhedrin and the entirety of the Jewish people.
Right, that's how we choose people. That's how we say
you're literally every other anointment process. You usually have a representative of the clergy, a representative of the people,
it's just an inauguration,
nobles, and a holy ceremony where usually oil or water is put on someone's forehead.
That's right.
To make clear, this guy's the king, not any of these other pretty people in the room, because there's a lot of people around. Only one guy gets the anointing.
I never heard of anointing with water. Do you have an example of that?
Yeah, people get anointed with water too.
Actually, I think with water the word is lase, nessa. I don't think we call water
Mashiach.
No, you mean like in Hebrew. In Hebrew they have a different word for
it's a different
anointing with water.
It's really from the cleansing waters. So that's what they're pulling from the cleansing waters.
But those are mashahs. Those are
not really
relevant.
It's really more the procedure that was utilized for the anointment.
Yeah, anointing.
John the Baptist was taking people to the mikvah. He wasn't anointing people.
Yeah,
that's a bath. That's not an anointment.
That's what I'm saying. You don't anoint the masses. That's clearly not what he's doing.
No, you don't anoint masses.
Anointings that I'm familiar with.
Anoint one person.
Yeah, that's why he's anointed. Well, there's multiple people that get anointed because the high priest.
For different roles that nobody else gets anointed.
Well, that's the only anointing. That's the only anointing that's set up originally. Which anointing?
No, there were a couple of anointments. Aaron and his descendants were anointed.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. For the priesthood, that's the only requirement. Saul was anointed, and King David. Yeah, that's a later thing. I'm saying according to the Torah. It wasn't a priest rule. I'm saying according to the Torah, that's the only anointing requirement. That's incorrect.
Wait, what tribe was Paul?
Show me an anointing.
I think he's Binyamin, but I'm not sure.
You're saying like he was born in Binyamin but raised by the.
I'm trying to think. Was his mother? I think at the beginning of that Haftorah it says where his mother is from.
Well, it's right in the beginning.
It says where he's from.
I'm trying to be back. Who mother?
Yakina and Elkanah.
Yeah.
I just never know which Shevet he's from.
They didn't live in Shiloh. They were going up to Be'el Oregano. That's how it's done.
They're from Ephraim. Mehar Ephraim.
So that's the tribe of
They're from the hill country.
Interesting.
They are Ephraimites.
But he's raised in the temple because he got.
So he's raised by Kohanim, but he comes from Ephraim and he anoints Binyamin.
Is his lineage? Is his lineage?
Binyamin and Yehuda.
And then Yehuda.
Is his lineage recorded in the text? Yes, Samuel.
No, it's just interesting to go from Ephraim to like a little bit of Rachel favoritism, only to realize,
politics, exact politics.
And
it's just a dynasty fight. That's all.
Well, Shmuel particularly is super wild card character. To be coming from Ephraim, donated to the temple in piety from his miraculous birth to his mother, raised and doing a temple reform, right? One-upping the priests. He's a crazy part, right? And he, more than anyone, like builds the state, right? He is the anointing of the monarchic era. And by the way, he has to do it twice, right? He does it. He needs 2 times.
Yeah, I think Shmuel actually just gets taken over by the people. They say to the people one time, "Oh yeah, we'll get a king. Are you sure? Yeah, okay, I'll do it for you." Right? He's right. And then the next time,
man, by the time he
was an old man. Right? I think he's just like, "You want it?
I get old."
Oh, don't forget. Even though he was old, in Saul and Joel's like later stage, he went himself and slaughtered the king of Amalek. People forget how like hardcore Shmuel was in starting the Jews.
He's not that old, and he travels the land, I believe, till the very end. He's constantly traveling. And he was a Nazir. That means he would travel to town with his long hair. Yeah, he was a Nazir from birth. So that means he has long locks of hair traveling. He was like a nomadic traveler his entire life.
Yeah, he's like the prototypical prophet that's like promised that the Jews are gonna have to deal with. Guys like Shmuel.
Guys like Shmuel.
Yeah, I think he did descend from a Levitical lineage, but it just
No.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
You're saying that he was. Well, he's arguing that he was a Levite stationed in Ephraim territory.
Yes.
Is that fair?
That's where his dad was, exactly. That's what I remember, but I don't remember what it just said that.
Ask ChatGPT.
It says right here. It said we should look at commentary. That said there was a Ramatayim. There was a guy from Ramatayim, Sophie, Mehar Ephraim. He was from the Zuphites in the hill country of Ephraim. Shmuel Elkanah ben Yeroham. His name was Elkanah, son of Yeroham, son of Elihu, son of Tohu, son of Suf, and Ephraim.
Okay. Wait, where are you reading?
Shmuel Elkanah.
Okay. Nice. Right. I'll go read his lineage. He just did. No, it's in First Chronicles.
The Chronicles is different.
What's chapter?
Chapter 6.
Chapter 6.
He's got the citation.
I remember him being a lynch on the 22. Starting verse 22, I believe.
6:22.
Yeah, I believe it is, yeah.
Wait, hold on. Wait, Elkanah. No, it's before, right?
I don't know. Is it?
Well, Elkanah here is in a left turn. Maybe that's a different guy.
When we start about the chapter, it starts with Levi, right? What's that, chapter 6?
Just the beginning of chapter 6.
Late, yeah. Oh,
Levi, yes, the children of Levi, Gershom, Kahat, Merari. These are the sons of Gershom. These are the sons of Merari. Okay, Elkanah is listed in here. We don't know yet. Is that Elkanah? Is the same Elkanah?
It doesn't look like it's too early in history.
Right? And then here we have, in verse 11, Elkanah, Sophei, Beno, Benachas, Beno. Elkanah, son of Sophi, which is the same as Sophi. Eliab ben Yeroham. Okay, so that B'nai Shmuel HaDachor, Vashni Va'aviyah. Okay, so that's B'nai. Now let's go to 22.
Because I think the argument is he doesn't come from Aaron's lineage, but he is a Levi. He's definitely not from Aaron's lineage. That's not correct. Yeah, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying
He might be a Levite. Yeah, he might be a Levite from Moshe.
Yeah. That he called so like 22 doesn't help you. I'm not sure what you're doing with 22.
Yeah, 22 doesn't help. B'nai Levi.
I think he actually was like a starting point from 22. No. I'm guessing maybe.
Well,
20. Let me check it. Hold on.
That's interesting.
That's Gershom. That's going all the way up in history. Hold on a second.
I think you guys gotta go to verse 33 to 38.
30 to 38.
Okay. ChatGPT says you have to piece it together. It doesn't say explicitly in one sentence. You have to piece it together. So, first thing is what we saw, Samuel 1:1:1.
Which says Ephraim.
It sounds like he's Ephraim, but not Levi. Chronicles says, okay, so according to Chronicles, if we read it this way, it lists the genealogy of Levites, and it includes Elkanah, Shmuel, and Shmuel's sons. They're placed within Kehat, the Kehat line of Levites.
Yes.
How can a Levite now be a Levite?
Yes.
How can a Levite be from Ephraim? Because
they don't have a lineage. They don't have a heritage.
Levites do not have a tribal territory.
Right, so they have
They don't have a tribal territory. They live in Levitical cities. These Levitical cities were located in Ephraim.
Very good.
You know, we can turn everybody to You know where we can try to check this out? We can look. I have to remember. I think it's the next chapter. It says if Kahat was in Ephraim, it says which Levites were in which cities.
There's a list of them?
Yeah, the Kohanim are in Judah. That I know for sure.
Okay, now the Kohanim lived all over Israel.
No, the Kohanim are in Miklat are the ones in Yehuda. But not that they didn't live anywhere else, but the ones that were given to them are in Yehuda.
Wait, I thought all the Ari Miklat answered to the Kohanim.
Well,
I mean, the Kohanim.
There's every Levite is not a priest, but every priest is a Levite. So nobody knows.
Yes, that's true. I'm simply saying that I know that the Ari Miklat are tied to the life of the Kohen Gadol and the Kohanim.
They're not administered. Yeah, they're not administered by Kohanim.
That's
okay. So the Levites run them.
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay.
It's called Ir Leviim. It's the Levite cities.
Well, I thought the Ir Leviim is different than the Ari Miklat.
No, those are the Ir Miklat. And then if
someone has to be,
I know some. And if someone has to be exiled to an Ari Miklat, they go to a lady city. And they say
there are more Levite cities than Ari Miklat. There's only 6 Ari Miklat.
Yeah, that's what it means by the 6 Ari Miklat is a very esoteric, very much difference between that and the other 42. The only difference between the 6 and the 42 is if you don't know you're in the city of refuge. That's the only difference.
There are more Ari Leviim than there are Ari Miklat.
I'll show you. Yes. We need to settle 40. So what is he arguing?
48 cities are supposed to go to the
He's trying to argue that all Ari Miklat are Ari Miklat.
All the Ari Miklat are Levitical cities.
Sure.
Only 42 of the Levitical cities are cities of refuge.
Yeah, this is equivalent to the phrase every priest is a Levite, but every Levite is not a priest.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with that. We're not different plants. But it is I agree with you there.
It's not.
It is equivalent.
If you go in the Torah part, if you don't go into the next part, we have 3 cities that are Ari Miklat, and then in Yeshua we have another 3 cities that are Ari Miklat. But if you count them all up later, you can get to 42, which is 42 plus 2, 6 is 48. It's asked over there, what are the difference between the 6 and the rest of them? And it's the only difference is if you don't know that you're in the city of refuge, if it works. But they all have the same rules once you go.
Wait, what do you mean? Give me a
But that's a distinct status difference, right? If you're in one of the other ones, you don't derive the benefits of being in your Miklat.
Yeah, I get it, but only if you don't know. Even if you went in unintentionally, which the only case I can come up with, which I've ever seen, is if you're sleeping. So the one and only difference is if you fall asleep in the wagon and pull into the city, if it's Hebron, Shiloh, Kodesh, then it works. And if it's only the other 42, it doesn't. But they basically have the same status as those.
Numbers indicates 48 cities total. And later, and the verse much later, a little bit later than that, says that 6 are designated.
Yeah, correct. Let me show you the Gemara on this. No, the case is done right there. Like, that's the distinction.
We don't need the Gemara. We want to understand what the text of the Tanakh is telling us by itself. The text of the Tanakh by itself
says 2 things. Oh my goodness. No matter what you want to go cool, it doesn't. None of that matters. There is a distinction. What's the distinction? You don't got it. Okay, that's what he's talking about. What's the distinction? You tell me. What is it? 42? There's 42. And then there's 6. 42 what cities for the Levites, and then there's 6 for refuge. No, they're all for refuge. But thank you for throwing that. All right, man.
Larry says he knows everything. The more he talks, the more he don't know shit.
What makes cities of refuge distinct? Cities of refuge have special legal status for cases of unintentional manslaughter.
Where are you reading?
I asked ChatGPT what's the difference between cities of refuge and Levitical city. Right, so the cities of refuge we know, right? The stuff when you run away from unintentional manslaughter and vengeance.
They're like prisons, but like
here's what it says. The cities of refuge are a special subset of Levitical cities, chosen precisely because of the Levites' judicial and non-territorial role. So I think we're agreeing a lot, actually. They're all Levitical cities. They're all managed by the Levites. And the 6 are the only ones that you can run to for refuge to avoid your death.
Case closed. Done. Move on. Okay, give me a minute and I'll show you. Our text how the way we. Our text? What are you talking about? That is a text. ChatGPT is a text. Okay, dude. You know, ChatGPT literally pulled from the text.
Yeah, ChatGPT is just a start. ChatGPT is just a starting point, but it does back up the stream.
That's what the claims. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it does back up.
I'm not sure what the Mayor is saying. You just read the verses there.
I don't know what Mayor is saying in contrast to what I thought was the standard interpretation.
The standard interpretation.
I'm not sure what you're saying.
The claim being that it's
Yeah, Mayor's saying something is wrong about ChatGPT. I'm not sure what he's saying.
All 48 cities are cities of refuge. If someone kills someone and accidentally and runs into one of the cities, they are all cities of refuge. The only legal distinction between the 6 and the other 42 is if you enter the city.
What is the proof? What's the scar they give? What's the scar they give?
So I'm looking it up, give me a minute. He just gave a distinction already. Did he just go get a distinction?
How about prove it?
Yeah, I'm curious what they're going to rely on.
I don't remember if it gives a possum, so you can ignore it. Sulaka, that's how
You better have some kind of proof.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to him up there.
Yeah, they have to explain something. Where is it? Michael,
We're also just expanding this concept.
Paracomachus. There's so much noise. The second Paracomachus. I don't have the proper source of that, so I'm having a hard time finding it, but it starts off the words the Sul. Everybody should read it. On the bottom of the page, it goes through all 6 cities. And then on the next page, it says the Suleka.
Wait, what page again?
That's what I'm looking for. It's second paragraph, so we only have a couple pages possible.
Oh, you're saying the bottom says the Suleka.
No, the top says the Suleka. The bottom says Kadesh, Hebron.
Okay, the top says the Suleka. Okay.
Somewhere near the top, this first couple of lines.
Okay.
Now I lost the whole thing. I went to the wrong place. Zion has somewhere on there. How authoritative is it text to you? Which text? The Torah, like the written text. That is such a stupid question. I'm not even engaged. I mean, I have to ask because he just read the text. Contextually, there was a distinction being made between the 42 cities and then the other 6. I'm pretty sure it is. That's a stupid question. Yes, he read it. Yeah, it's a very stupid question. It's the fundamentals of the whole everything. There's nowhere else to go. The Sulek. We're talking about this thing. Okay, we'll talk to you in one moment. In my Safaria, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines from the bottom of the Sulek question.
The bottom of 10A.
No, the top. 10 lines from the top, the middle of the line.
Oh, I see.
Sorry.
The Suleka?
Yeah.
Are there no more? Right? Aren't there more? Right? Aren't there more than 6? Well, how did the Aleim to you already was dying here, right? The Midbar says, you shall give them 42 cities.
Good.
Right, so, okay, even though that's not the shot of that pasuk. Amar replied, Halalu, Kotus, Bein Ladad, Bein Shalom, those over there, right, 6, those they fill their purpose whether it's unintentional, whether you admit it, or whether they entered the cities deliberately, or whether they entered inadvertently. They still work whether you know it's an Arabic clause or not. Halalu, these other ones, the other 42, Ladat, Kotot, Shalom Ladat, and Kotot. Right? Those 42, he said those 42 Levite cities, unintentional murders are admitted, only if they answer deliberately.
Right.
But if they answer the cities,
You're saying, so we'll slow down. If I understand correctly, this rabbi is asserting that the difference between the 6 and the 42 is that in the 6, these provide sanctuary per se, but in any of these 42, sanctuary can be accessed by claiming it and asking for it.
This is why I just said, when he read his initial source, it already made the distinction already. What are we doing?
Slow down. What's this guy's source for the distinction between the 42 and the 6?
he's bringing Bamidbar 35, and it says, and beyond them, 6 cities of refuge are mentioned in the previous verse, right? The whole pasuk is, the 6 cities of refuge you shall give for the murderer to flee there, and beyond them, you shall give 42 cities. So the drush that the Gemara is making here, right, whoever that is it says Irmiklat in the beginning of the pasuk, and then that must mean it transfers to the rest of the cities in the second part of the pasuk.
Well, yeah, no, because within the
Now
concept,
go to-
the verse is saying it's very clear that it's adding on the verse itself.
But actually,
Beyond that 6, I also bring you these 42.
Okay,
Which
that's right.
create a logical question.
Yeah, but Mayor, look at this.
Well,
He's saying he's actually saying something in between what you and I are saying, right?
Yeah.
Abaya is. Abaya is not saying what you're saying. Abaya is saying they function as an irmaklad, but only in this specific case, not in all cases. In all cases, if I admit or don't admit when I come to the city, to the 6 cities, I can derive the protections. Yeah, you have to say, I killed somebody, let me know.
no, the dot means that you know you're there.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, let's look around now.
It means that you knowingly assert the claim of refuge.
Yes, in other words, not admit. I don't mean admit. I mean admit as in let in. They're let in. They're admitted to the city whether they got robbed deliberately or not.
Correct me if I'm wrong. There is a condition. One second. Let me make sure I'm understanding this right. I want to go on your conversation. So let's look at all names. I just want to make sure I'm following the conversation. Yeah, I got it. So is he saying that there's a condition, right? So he's saying when you arrive at these 6 here, look, I'm just asking you. Correct me after. He's saying at these 6 cities for sure, there is no condition. You get refuge, you get protection until you know have your trial and case or whatever. But if you arrive at this 42 or the 42, which are separate from the 6, and you know you didn't know, okay, I didn't know this wasn't the city refuge. There is a special condition that you can get refuge there, and you know whatever the case may be. But
That's right. You only get refuge in the other 42 if you enter there on purpose.
Correct.
Right? So what does that mean? So what does that mean? Right, so what does that mean? That means, no, but what does that mean? That means 2 things, right? Mayor's half right, that the function of those 42 cities also did function as a rating lot. In part, that's where he's wrong. They don't function as the full Irving Club because it's the condition of how the person arrived in the city. Which backs up my reading, which distinguishes the drush I would make in the text, right, to the answer of the Tulinka. I would say, well, right, the text is very explicit, 6 and then 42. And I can make the same drush, just as reasonably.
Yes, that's fine. But look at the rundown of how he rules, and the only distinction in practice is that if you don't know you're there, what would that mean? You don't know you're there. If you fell asleep on the way in and you don't know you're there, or if you originally in the city as
Doesn't say fall asleep.
hold on. If it has someone in that, you have to figure. Is he talking about? I'm just
Sometimes it doesn't mean just asleep.
hold on. Is he talking about the 6 or the 42? Which one? Just follow the conversation, dude. I'm asking because I didn't understand what you read from. Let's go. The next thing I'm asking for 6 of them go with knowledge and without knowledge. 42 of them go only with knowledge. Now, the conversation now has gone to what does knowledge mean? My assertion is, because that's the classic understanding, is that knowledge means you know you're in a scenario. Now you have to come up with a scenario where you wouldn't know you're in the city of refuge. The only scenario I can come up with is if you fall asleep. If you come up with
Why? Maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't know the city.
you just had you said I guess so.
You came upon a city. You're running away, right? Came upon a city.
Sure.
And you don't know.
That's a
No. It's hold on. I think the scenario is what is entered deliberately? It means entered in order to receive the benefit, the protections of the city.
Meaning that the judges at the gate say, okay, let this person in. This is a legit matter. I'm just giving examples, bro. Like you just gave examples. Whatever you want to put in. You could. I'm saying according to what Caleb said, I'm asking him, is that like what he's trying to say? Like what he means? Like
Here's Rashi.
Works, but it's a
Here's Rashi. He doesn't know if that city. Okay, that's all. Take
said that was the only scenario that I was creative enough to come up with. But fine, that's an issue. If you actually know, if he doesn't know what geography is, that's a weird case. But I guess it's true. There were signs on the roads that would tell you where to go. There was like, he didn't read the signs. He thought that he had to travel further. Like, no, you're already in the city. Yeah, I guess that would be a case. Sure. That's a
Levite cities are strange.
I just want to know, is there a plain distinction between the 42 and the 6?
Very little difference. The legal system.
Two different things. I didn't hear.
They are very clearly distinctive, right?
Thank you.
6 is functioning legally very clearly differently, and of necessity because of that, they will develop their own natural distinctiveness from the other 42. But legalistically, structurally, they are both pretty similar, so you'd have kind of a sister city kind of a vibe, where these are the only city zones throughout all of Israel, and they're thus similar to each other, but they're going to be they're like night and day, because one is going to be the 6, and the other will be the 42.
In practice, they're the same.
Oh, let's say quickly.
In nuanced laws, there are differences. But in practice, in reality, in all like common cases and discussion, you come up with.
Except one will be solely populated by the reckless murderers who are seeking refuge.
None are only populated by murderers.
No, I said mostly. One will mostly populate.
It can't. Then it doesn't work. The city has to be mostly not murderers.
Oh, right. Why? What happens if you don't populate murderers?
The drasha is that the Vrayhem can't be equal. It says that the Rotseach has to say Devarav, his words. His words can't be equal to their words. So if it's a majority of refugees, then the city stops functioning. That's obviously a weird case. That's not going to happen. But that's
you're saying that the majority has to maintain Levite status.
I don't say to be Levites. They have to be non-murderers. I mean, there's
okay, can non-Levites live in the Levite cities?
I believe so, but I have to go back. That's a common question. I don't know.
Yeah, we have to check in to control Levite cities.
No, because you might have to pay rent and whatever, but I believe you.
Well, like, who's the municipal head of the Levite cities?
It should be the Levites. Or the Levites.
Right. Is there cities?
Right, but let's just say that the Levite population dwindles to 40% and they rent out 50%, like 50%.
Right.
So it could happen that the majority happens not to be Levites, but they still.
But you have a Levite apartheid in the Levite cities.
I wouldn't call it apartheid, but sure.
Okay, I mean, you've got a bunch of non-Levites.
There's very clear rules
that are minorities.
There's very clear rules if you sell a house when it goes back. It goes back. But
that's true. There are strict rules about selling property in the Levite cities.
I just don't remember that, but they're clear. It all goes back to the year Jubilee.
The Jubilee resets it. That makes our job a little easier. That's true.
Yeah, you can't keep if they sell you their property.
At a certain point, the records just stop mattering.
No matter if it's inside the city or the tall walls or whatever. That's true. If you in a regular city that's surrounded by walls and you sell a personal residence, you get like 2 years to redeem it. You get 1 year to redeem it if you're a regular person. But if you're a Levite, if their land is not off limits, so whatever they sell to you has to restore it back to them. That's what I remember, but I don't remember. If you're saying it's probably true. Yeah, it's very historical. Yeah, okay.
Levites get special transactions.
My wife wants me to put wainscoting everywhere. She's out of her mind. She's bugging out.
She wants you to do what? Sorry?
Wainscoting. Like the chair rail and the wainscoting on, chair height on the walls around.
No,
You know what I'm talking about? When you come to a house, you see, it's called wainscoting. It's like the picture frame sort of look that's wood around the wainscoting of the house. Look up wainscoting on Pinterest or whatever. There's ways to do it where you don't have to use that much wood, but
nice. I'm not gonna lie. It's just a lot of work. Keep your head up. Where did we get to with Sicario? Nowhere? Oh, no, we ain't getting nowhere with him. He got no damn thing. Yeah, he gave me a headache yesterday, man.
Like, he really has this conspiracy that the New Testament was created by Romans. Like,
No, he told me once that the Jews were forced to write it. That's what he told me once.
he has this big conspiracy.
Then he says that there's stories that and he was like, he was talking to like other Muslims in the group, and they were saying that there was 4 program for that as well. Can you share with us what the definition is and how you measure, quote unquote, the term DEI hire? Does that make sense?
So Hurricane just busted me for saying DEI hire, so I'm not gonna say it again. But I will say the kind of programs that I put in place. So one, you cannot legally say we need more X number of, right? You can't say we need more Asian people, we need more Black people, we need more whatever. But you can say, looking at our percentage of like the spread across demographics, if we, so for example, if your organization serves a particular patient, you may want your
representation.
you may want it to look more like the population that it serves, right? So, like if you're running a women serving kind of space, you probably would want, just so your clients or your whoever you serve, if you're in healthcare, your patients feel more comfortable, more women, right? So you may have to change where you go and recruit. So for me in our hospital, we serve a lot of people that have sickle cell, and so we know that sickle cell impacts Black people. I think there is a majority, maybe 1 or 2% that are not Black, but Black people across the world. But guess what? We don't recruit. We were not recruiting from Morehouse. We were not recruiting specifically from HBCUs, which we know have medical.
HBCU alert!
That we need to
HBCU alert! Sickle cell.
Part of what we did.
Sickle cell.
Some of the
Sickle cell.
we shared with them.
HBCU alert! Sickle cell. Sickle cell.
For the kind of care they would need to give, the way we gave to them.
Sickle cell. HBCU. Sickle cell.
Kind of programs that I believe are like truly beneficial DEI programs that sometimes get overlooked.
So representation, would you say that one of the goals is to make sure that, because every company is different, has different type of clients and customers, that you want the internal staff to do that? Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, and to understand, like something, so we're in Memphis, right? So we know that the median income in Memphis is not 100,000. And you can come here if you, let's say you're a sickle cell patient, you may have additional needs that somebody who lives outside of this community wouldn't understand. And so part of that representation also is a cultural understanding of what's going on here. So if you see somebody that comes in, it can be simple as asking them, like, do you have your other needs met as far as housing, food, transportation? And so we want to have that kind of awareness as well in these programs, because
especially in healthcare settings where are going to be serving a diverse
population. But yeah, I mean, look, I was gonna say something a little while back, but I forgot because the conversation moved like 80 different directions. But this was a good discussion. Like, the problem is not DEI. Oh, yeah. My question was this. Have we seen any white lawsuits that were actually successful?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. Go ahead,
Like,
Eric.
they actually
Hello?
won?
When you say win, what do you mean?
Hello?
Different ways to
Hello?
win. I think about the
Hello?
litigation
Hello?
surrounding a small grant that was created to benefit Black woman-owned small businesses because
Oh, yeah, I agree about that.
they were found to be shut out. Shut out in the venture capital funding process. There were only 4 grants awarded each year. White people were really upset that this one organization was awarding grants amounting to, I don't know if it was $10,000 or $20,000, but it was one of those numbers, to 4 grantees each year, along with opportunities to pair with mentors, so that these awardees could succeed in the marketplace. White people were upset. Dude, Fearless Fund, for some reasons that I don't know, decided to stop the grant program. And that's how the litigation ended.
So they sold it and
Yeah,
we sold it back. Okay.
So they never went to trial or anything like that. But in essence, the white people won. And that's just the one.
The white people won?
I'm sure Black Freedom can tell you about.
Hello? Hello?
I thought about that. I think
The white people won?
if you Google it. But that's
Hurricane says the white people won.
Black Freedom.
You know, back to motherfuckers. Yeah. So just quickly, Hurricane's right. So what ended up happening was that the plaintiffs in that case.
No. You have to wait.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was just saying that the plaintiffs in that case, which keep in mind, this is an organization that came from Ed Bloom's kind of like, I guess, lineage. That's one of his organizations. The plaintiffs in that case, the plaintiffs were nameless in that case. Injunction denied injunction. They claimed to be Georgia, Florida, and Alabama. And they were able to get the preliminary injunction granted. That's when the parties ultimately settled their accounts for having a representation. I can't speak to law firms the way that Hurricane can, or like academia, like others on the stage could, but I work with a lot of nonprofits, and the amount of self-censorship that's happening because they just want to avoid a lawsuit because they don't have money like that anyway is crazy. Like the way that they've changed their language, changed the way that they just sort of present themselves broadly to try to avoid repercussions, like the intimidation has been extremely successful.
Right.
You'll probably also notice a lot more workplaces, they don't offer the programs they were offering in 2024. My legal department pulled programs that included women's development and like young professionals development. Even we have a group that is like I think you have to be 50 and over to be a part of it, and they kind of help with like the sandwich generation. All of those programs were pooled just because there was like a memo that was floating around, basically warning organizations all of the things they were soliciting people to report organizations on is illegally offering benefits to those groups. And so our legal department basically, they didn't ask any questions. They just said they must end immediately. And I have not seen any of them put back into rotation yet. And basically, my legal team said don't expect anything before 2030 at this point.
My legal team said don't expect shit before 2030. But after 2030, hello?
All right, so just be afraid, black people. Cower in fear. Don't say DEI. And yeah, the opposition won. Just give it up. Go home.
So I guess it has been interesting to hear all the different points of view that the conversation sparked. But I would like to hear what you guys feel as far as how we should respond when we have this narrative being pushed about DEI being the equivalent of or synonymous with unqualified, right? Because that's the narrative we know that they're pushing, and they're pushing it hard. Trump and the whole administration is DEI. So how do we respond to a Kid Rock saying, yeah, I'm Jay-Z, but, it's given DEI. I kind of feel like he's there because of DEI. Like, what do you think would be an effective response to that?
I'm not sure that we earned it. That's what we asked for. That's my response.
I have a few responses. One, there are companies, firms, organizations, students, and so on that are fighting that, whether through lawsuits or otherwise. Another thing too is reading Students for Fair Admission, the lawsuit that came, of course, and the Supreme Court that so-called, eliminated affirmative action in higher education or whatever. The majority opinion, keep in mind, Justice Roberts stated that individuals who are applying for college, for example, can speak to their experiences, particularly when it comes to overcoming hardships. If that includes race, then so be it. It's just that colleges and universities cannot have specific metrics or give points for race, but you can speak about it. For example, if you're a college applicant, some universities have taken that very seriously and have encouraged, if you read some of these prompts, have encouraged students to write about the hardships that they've experienced, whether it's discrimination or otherwise. So some colleges and universities have committed themselves even more to diversity, equity, and inclusion by taking that majority opinion and saying, okay, write to it, speak to it, which of course is ironic because one of the conservative talking points is that, hey, listen, speaking about race in this way makes it seem as if you're a victim, but now students are allowed to write about themselves as victims and how they overcame these things. But all this is to say that folks are fighting. If you're paying attention, not to say that you aren't, Jim and I'm sure you are, but if you're paying attention to what's happening on college campuses and universities, for example, the University of Alabama, we have brave students who are fighting against SB 129, a law that was passed by the state legislature there, preventing DEI and K through 12 all the way through higher education. You have students and professors fighting against it. So people are doing it. They're doing it. It's just that, this administration has made it a target, and thus you don't get a lot of examples in the media of folks actually fighting back against it.
I mean, I sued one of my former employers and won. That's how I'm fighting against it. And I'm also campaigning to get people of color elected.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You liar.
So that's
no,
what
you're
it is.
not. You're a liar.
Dude,
You're
shut up.
fraud.
Who is this?
Shut up, dude.
Who the hell is this?
Keep going. I shot him. He's gone. He's removed from the
Anyway, yeah, so I mean, I'm doing what I can. I also work in admissions, so I've seen the differences between before and after the affirmative action was repealed. It made it very hard for me to review applications because the essays were very, like, people were writing about very serious traumatic things. So I've seen the impact of that law. So, but I mean, I'm doing what I can. Like, fortunately, I'm in a position where the work that I do pays me to fight back against what's going on, but not everybody is in that situation. So we just have to find what it is we can do within our own routes.
I don't know that I'm technically fighting back, but generally what I encourage people to do is just find something locally you can participate in. So for me, just beyond what I do day to day, I'm a board member of a reproductive clinic, right? And it serves Black women. So I'm a doula. So one of the things I've committed to this year is that I will end up, my goal is to sponsor 10 women that want to be doulas so that we can probably like offset something somewhere. Like, I don't know that it's a 1-for-1, but I think about, like, while we're so focused on DEI, like in the workplace, sometimes what we forget about is that in our community, there are these groups that are impacted because they won't get funding anymore. Like, they won't be able to provide these services. So I just kind of put my money where my mouth is, right? So I think about where people in my community will feel it most. So organizations won't get those federal funds. I can't necessarily replace those federal funds, but I can do something that contributes. But then also, if you're at work, just because your organization cannot do certain things anymore doesn't mean that you can't. So I'm always going to be a proponent of mentoring. I'm always going to be a proponent of participating in the programs that you can. So like me reviewing these essays for these kids to get into this immersion program, focusing on things like that are a net positive rather than trying to combat like the Chris Rocks at the end of the day, because they're just people that are ignorant, and no matter what you do or say, you're not going to change their hearts because they're just hateful.
You bloody machine! It does for some, not for others.
But how long do we think this is gonna last, this DEI backlash?
Did you say you had the recording? Because I would prefer to have a private, so we don't have to have a public discussion about that.
Hello?
How long do you guys think this is gonna last?
Congress or student body is a goal to grow the state without, of course, running into 14th Amendment issues and making it practice. California, for example, passed a law where studies is mandatory. However, it's only mandatory if the legislature puts forth the budget.
Hello?
Where is he on stage? I don't know if he is.
Hello?
Your Honor. There we go. Your Honor knows a little bit about it. Yeah,
I took ethnic studies. That's right. I spoke
That is fascinating. Making ethnic studies mandatory, that is...
And that was in the Paleolithic too. It's a long time since I was in high school.
So California passed this legislation. However, it can only be implemented if there is money appropriated for it, and the legislature has not appropriated money for it. So
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Which kind of like this
Hello?
So Gavin Newsom did this?
Hello?
Previous governor. How long has this been?
this was passed.
Hello?
Okay.
Wait, really?
Hello?
I think so. So Your Honor, there were schools,
Hello?
and you're out there.
Hello?
There were schools that were doing ethnic studies before this.
Hello?
That was just part of the curriculum, but then California passed a law.
Hello?
Making it mandatory by I think 2028, 2029 for the
Hello?
graduating high school class, but only if the money was appropriated for it. And it wasn't appropriated for it. So
Hello?
that's where it is.
That's so weird. Yeah,
Hello, Shay?
Was doing it before there, but
Are you on the connecting flight? Did you call me to tell me that you're on your way to Palestine?
Are there that even have that kind of conditionality?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
That is,
Are you going to Iran or Israel?
That sounds insane to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Hello?
interesting.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Meanwhile, rural hospitals are closing. There's less and less doctors being hired because there's less
Hello?
hospitals. I mean, it's just a mess across the board. Look how DEI is.
Hello? Hello?
Huh? What does that mean? Yeah, I'm so confused.
Hey Van, you weren't here. I would be interested in hearing your view on the previous conversation.
Hello?
What was it? Mr. Trump voter. I have the audio.
You had audio too. And the transcripts. If y'all don't help me, then we can work out something.
Oh, you've been outed. 2 weeks ago, you asked how thick it was to some dude. Because what was your
What
question?
the fuck are you talking about?
What the hell?
What the hell is he talking about? We just want to move past that because that never happened.
NFFN! NFFN! Hello? Projection alert! Projection alert!
Something or the other.
Hello?
He said,
Hello? Projection alert!
Because I'm a big fan of Jay-Z, but it's giving DEI. I still think he's DEI. Right?
Hello?
He had kind of painted it, I felt like he was trying to take a shot at Jay-Z and indirectly at Bad Baby, saying he's incompetent and incapable, and he's a DEI hire, and that's why they're half signed.
Hello?
As good as me. Bad buddy. My bad.
Hello?
So then the question kind of came to, I was pushing back on that, and then the question came to, is Jay-Z truly a DEI hire, or was he just uniquely qualified and there really were no other options for them to go for? So what would your take be on that? You're in the Matrix.
When he was
Matrix.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, now we can.
Good evening. I'm John Kitover with Kitover News. Tonight, how your cell phone and a little artificial.
I see. I'm John. Now that Gemini has come up, I know it was in you, sir.
What the fuck? What's your take?
Wait a minute, let me correct y'all. Don't ever say overqualified or DEI, because you can be overqualified and
Uniquely qualified.
it's still,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah, it assumes a standard of qualification.
That's what he said. Stop saying that. You're assuming that there's a standard if you're DEI, like you're not up to par.
I know that DI doesn't mean not up to par. I'm not assuming that at all.
But don't say or.
Okay, fine. So, what's your take, Ben?
But hired for what? I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Hello?
Well, not hired. The NFL partnered with Rock Nation to make him the overseer of the halftime show, his productions, and his selections as far as artists.
Overseer's crazy.
Hello?
I still can't believe we're back on this campus.
Overseer is accurate after the Epstein file.
Overseer? Motherfucker saying overseer?
No, it's just
Hello?
Yeah, I don't have any thoughts on that.
Hello?
The DEI, I don't even know what.
Hello?
Who said it was DEI? I'm
If
confused.
you're right.
Hello?
The guy
The guy that headlined the alternate MAGA halftime show.
No. What did he say about Jay-Z? I'm sorry.
He felt like he's a great artist, but he's a DEI hire as far as his position with the NFL, being overseeing the halftime show.
Hello?
Oh, they're just going full racist at this point. That's crazy.
Hello?
That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. You know, I wish these people would just go about their business.
Hello?
I don't have anything to say, brother.
Brother?
That's probably the best contribution to that discussion we had.
Hello?
Because there's really no point in giving this oxygen.
Hello?
But I still appreciated the discussion we had.
So it was a good pivot.
Hello?
What's happening right before that with the troll that said he was a barber, but he wasn't really a barber. That said he became MAGA when Trump debated Obama at the halftime show.
Hello? Hello?
He was on.
Let that man be a barb.
Hello? Hello?
That was the purpose. Man, be a barb. Wow. That was the purpose of the pivot, is what I'm saying. That's how the conversation was initiated.
Okay.
It was
Hello?
Yeah, no, that's right. That's fair.
Never heard of a straight male self-described barb.
Hello?
It's because they don't exist. We proved it on the stage. Well, at least not yet.
Hello?
Wait, is that homophobia? Or heterophobia?
How is that homophobia? Like, what the hell?
Or
Hello?
heterophobia, perhaps? To classify a particular type of fan as being or like a
Intentional contrarian.
No, nigga, no, you don't run. You gotta stop running, bro. You gotta stop running. Contrary to society. It's just society. No, I'm good. What the hell?
Brother?
I was just responding to Amari. I want to answer that question. How long this all will last.
Oh, sorry.
So like he hasn't been in a month. His bladder must be
Hello?
No, not the urethra. Talking about the small skinny one from the bladder from the kidney to the bladder. Anyway, it's a ureter, I think it's called.
Hello? Hello?
But I know the urethra is the thing that brings the pee out of the pee.
Hello?
DEI. I want to answer to the question about DEI, the attack on DEI. I think it's almost over. I think it's already.
Like, who's the they?
The conservatives.
And what war are you referring to?
Hurricane said we lost. Hurricane said we already lost.
Sir, I'm asking Bear to clarify.
No, I'm giving him further context that you thought we already lost and that we couldn't take it back. But please, go ahead, man.
Okay. My brother.
Brother.
I just lost it.
Conservatives are going to lose the war in the year.
Conservatives, I think they are. I'm gonna tell you why conservatives don't lose a lot of stuff.
What war are you talking about? I don't know what war you're referring to.
Getting rid of DEI in companies, getting rid of DEI in K through 12, getting rid of DEI in colleges and universities, making people dislike DEI.
Brother.
Students for fair admissions was a loss for the conservatives.
Brother.
Affirmative action.
Well, yeah, it's part of DEI.
Hurricane said we were going to lose.
You know that thing.
It is.
You know that thing. He's not salty because he's still salty because he can't understand polite because he likes La Traviata. Excuse me. Is even more than a basic bitch.
No, my favorite is not a basic bitch.
She is. I'm done speaking.
No, my favorite
Hello?
Sorry about that.
Never had one lesson.
For thinking we could take it back, right? And here you are giving analysis in alignment with our position, and he can't handle it. Thank you.
I disagree with his analysis.
Well, one reason why you disagree with my analysis is because you changed what I said.
No.
I didn't say the conservatives lost
Or DEI?
No, you said
I said the tide is starting to turn.
I don't think so.
I think it is starting to turn, actually, at least in higher ed. Especially
I was thinking about how, according to polling, I want to say like between 30 and 40% of white Americans believe that like anti-white racism is a thing. It's a minority.
It'll be interesting. Isn't Nike being pursued by the Trump administration around DEI specifically? I think just recent talk, the Trump administration said they were seeking documents around Nike and their hiring practices, or maybe just sort of diversity policies in particular.
Hello.
Yeah,
I've heard of that. I mean, it's not. I'm not a lawyer, but based on what
interesting to see how that
Word of the day, white grievance. 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 That's the name of my new music band, White Grievance.
and hurting their job.
Abraham, Ribbon Shalom. Another pre-Shabbos miracle, Ribbon Shalom.
Experiencing the so-called reverse discrimination because of those policies. Now, when I think about DEI,
Ribbon Shalom.
continue to win for a while.
Ribbon Shalom. Hello?
Employment, education, policing, etc.
Hello?
Court issued the decisions that we
Hello?
to call the students for their
Hello?
decision to end
Hello?
affirmative action in higher education.
Hello?
Instances.
Hello?
Courts have relied on that decision
Hello?
to strike down
Hello?
other
Hello?
related
Hello?
practices that concern race. The conservatives have since then turned their eye toward DEI.
Hello?
Lawsuits all over the country.
Ribbon Shalom. There are followers of the Rebbe who saying Ribbon Shalom is extremely helpful. Ribbon Shalom.
It is related to the anti-DEI
Ribbon Shalom.
difficult or
Ribbon Shalom. Ribbon Shalom. Oh! Hello. Hello, the franchise. BLM, CRT, DEI, LGBTQ franchise. Hello. Hello.
Is it possible that we can change things in the future?
Hello.
Because the legal infrastructure supporting them
Hello.
is going to take a long time to undo it.
Hello. Hello. Ribbon Shalom. Is that Monica?
Speaking as the token conservative on the stage, vote. Just don't vote more than once. I mean, American citizens. Thank you.
Vote, but don't vote more than once. She's the token conservative on the stage. Hello? Monica making a rare appearance on the show. Monica! And that just happened. Hello! Monica dropping diamonds. Monica dropping diamonds from the sky. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Where were you guys? ideologies. So that's all I wanted to say. It will rise again. They'll call it something else. Because that's how check this country. I want DEI for sure.
Well, I feel like the majority of the population is in favor of it rising again. So, I'm not worried.
But the majority of the population is interested in what?
I think the majority of the population is interested in maybe not the term DEI, but whatever DEI represents.
I'm not sure, but I'm not convinced.
Is there
Maybe it's my Northeast bias speaking, but I actually think that a lot of people are realizing that maybe they don't make the link between the services that they need and DEI practices as consciously if you're like not educated. But I think that it's pretty clear that without DEI, there's going to be a real issue in terms of the workforce.
Americans are dumb. They don't know what it means. That's that. The companies will do it if they feel they want to do it, but they'll not call it DEI. And they'll just move quietly because it benefits their bottom line.
I think Spiritus has a point there. I mean, I think that most people don't know enough about DEI and how they're supported by that. They just assume that their employers will do the right thing, and that is not always the case. While most will, this is just an additional level of accountability, and to also a way to make things to where the average employee feels the support and benefit of the company caring about these things for their employees.
I agree with Omatis.
I also agree with Otis that it's going to take a long time, but I don't think it's going to take as long as you're suggesting, Otis.
Hello?
I never gave a comment.
Hello?
I know what decisions stand in the way of progress. And I think about decisions that are coming out of the and it's going to take time to get these decisions overturned.
Never had one lesson. Woo!
When I'm talking about my job, I'm thinking about my education. I passed a lot of courses that convert me as a really simple woman, as an Iranian woman, to a scientific person, international person that you can see me as a LinkedIn or somewhere else. When I'm thinking about this, I'm just thinking about a lot of women that cannot obtain this situation because a lot of problem, a lot of blah, 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 a lot of bad situation. And I'm just thinking, how can I help them? And I'm just trying to them. That's why I'm just going to just send the rules to you. Yeah. I'm so sorry if I'm not. Maybe I can't.
listen to us. These people in this room, he don't care about what we want to go to one of the rooms that says MAGA. He might listen to them.
Hello?
That's very mean. And how you doing? Long time no see.
That's true though. I wasn't trying to be mean.
Oh, yo, boy, I heard that whole thing. I was telling you speaking facts, like, you know.
Hello?
That was harsh, but okay.
Was it harsh?
Yeah, it was a little harsh. A little harsh.
Yeah,
It's not the first time she has come on this stage.
Hello?
We've heard her story before. We're talking about DEI right now. She comes in here from time to time and tells us about Iran, and I barely have a signal, and blah, blah, blah. Sorry, ma'am.
And she
Just like the time on the clip.
And she has an agenda because we know 99% of people don't even have fucking signal over there right now. So she has an agenda.
We listen
I don't
to
think she's in Iran. She's in Fuse.
So we don't care. Y'all need to. We're in America. We don't need to hear all this. Y'all need to talk about AI and stuff. This is like y'all always be letting people up these accents. I'm not supposed to say well, but I'm already from another country. My people see about to y'all need to stay in y'all country and get on y'all's motherfucking Starlink and shut the fuck up.
Hello? NFFN alert. NFFN alert. NFFN alert. NFFN alert. NFFN alert. Hello?
Oh, hey, Brooklyn, long time.
NFFN alert. Never relax. NFFN. NFFN alert.
It's almost like you would be sympathetic to other people.
NFFN alert.
You constantly talk about interrupted. Listen, y'all need a mirror. You need a mirror, sir. As marginalized as your community is, Wait, what?
Hello?
You're gonna shoot me? I'm speaking. God, I didn't interrupt anybody.
Hello? Hello?
Your brother said he was going to touch you. Concrete kept on talking.
Yes, they see Tino just my girl. These people need to understand I'm hostile and I'm ghetto and I will go crazy. So y'all want to y'all need to get yourself under control.
Hello?
Y'all need to keep it. Monica, don't be laughing because you next. Stay
You need to calm yourself down, sir. You're not helping your people.
Monica today. You're doing well, Monica. I want to give you a congrats and give you love today because you are shutting up and minding your business.
Wow.
Concrete. You need to sit on that sidewalk and shut the hell up.
This is what they did to black people.
No,
This is what they do to gays. They tell you shut up.
Dude, whatever college you went to, you lied about, bitch. I'm not calling college. And
Hello? Projection alert. NFFN alert. NFN alert. NFFN alert. NFN 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 alert. Hello?
Why you don't let the man talk?
Now you did it.
Hello?
Who said that? Oh my God.
NFN alert. NFN alert. Oh, hello. 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 Hello.
Shit ain't easy.
Hello.
Trying to stay on track.
Hello.
I'm fine, but she trying to throw those shots. Don't play with me, lady.
And you tried to shoot me for nothing. What the hell? Divine, one mic on Divine. Reset is in progress. Divine, you shouted me down and threatened me for no reason, bro.
Okay, I said I will shoot you. I did not shoot you.
Alright, reset is in progress. 5.
Take two. Hey, everybody, welcome to one of the best productions. Everybody open in this room. All the time they come together and have these conversations. The conversations don't really work.
Hello.
Some say it's dead. Some say it's might come back. I say they're gonna rename it because we have
Hello.
who are discriminated against regardless of their race, regardless of their religion, regardless of their sex and their sexual
Hello.
it's taking place. We know that people are being discriminated against even by the name on their resume. So we gotta make sure that
Hello.
and we're talking about DEI. It's not going away. They're gonna call it something else because we gotta make phone calls and we're gonna hold these elected officials accountable to make sure that everybody has an opportunity. So with that,
Hello.
That's a great reset. I was gonna say, like, I've been talking to a number of folks who they're already using other terms, and they're intentionally like the most just like ridiculous euphemisms you can possibly imagine. Like they sound like they mean absolutely nothing, and everyone just kind of knows that it's. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I mean, one that they use in education advocacy is they talk about access. And everyone who uses the term, well, not about everyone, but a lot of the people who are using the word access are using it to mean DEI, at least in part. But it's such a broad word that you sort of kind of have to know. I was talking to someone who works in the medical space, a family member of mine recently, and she was saying that they've got one that's, I forget what she said. It was like 4 or 5 words long. It sounded like just absolute garbage. But they know that they're using it in that same way.
Hello.
They're intentionally trying to make sure that it doesn't get codified, because then it would just be easy to target.
Codification of the access.
I'm sure there's a lot of it.
Codification of the access. Codification of the access.
What development does that mean?
Hello. Hello. Codification of the access. Codification of the access. Hello. Hello. Codification of the access.
Anyway, I think I heard Randall say something.
Hello.
White ladies were
Hello. Hello. Codification of the access.
because it's not true. It's not.
Just present the statistics, please.
Oh my God. Last year when Trump first announced like his attacks on DEI, and people kept saying like we shouldn't care because white people benefit the most. Neoliberal actually pulled some like really interesting thing, kind of dispelling that notion that white women benefit the most. People say it all the time. It's like a clubhouse myth. But I don't think I've ever seen them post anything to support them. People just say, like, white women benefit the most, so why are we worried about it? It's, like, not true. I mean, if you track, like, longitudinal studies from, I guess maybe when would be the beginning of these things, like, the 80s to now, you would just see the difference it made on the black middle class economically. So I don't know why we think it's just white women benefited, so we shouldn't give a fuck.
So it sounds like you're talking about something other than the initiative that we're talking about. If you want to include other things in your categorization of DEI, but what I heard Rambo say was in terms of hiring, and somebody else like pushed back on his point regarding hiring.